this love pain. Anybody got a feel like a pop? For this love pain. Anybody got a prayer like a say for this love pain, yeah. Ooh, I need it for this love pain. Anybody got a prescription, yeah, for this love pain. Anybody got a feel like a pop? For this love pain. Anybody got a prayer like a say for this love pain, yeah. Ooh, I need it for this love pain. Anybody got a prescription?
Good morning. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Everything's gonna be all right. Yes, it is. How are you guys today? I'm sorry, I am extremely late. Yeah, I said I was going to be here at 11:30. I wasn't. Sue me. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm just late. So I hope everyone's doing well and that your life is just taking off like a rocket and everything's going fantastically marvelous. So today I want to talk about what happens when you get fed the right way. Now, I know you think I'm talking about food, but let's talk about food, shall we? So we all know that when we eat the right things, our body reacts in a positive way, right? The foods that we eat, if we eat nourishing foods, and our bodies react differently. Sometimes if we eat the right things, our body has more energy, we have more pep in our step, we move differently, we feel better, a lot of diseases go away and things of that nature. So when you put the right foods in your body reacts in kind, right? And so the chemical and physical reactions that we have to food is the same chemical and physical reaction we have to information and environment and all of that. So if you feed your body with the right environment, the right being around the right people, having the right information come to you, then your body reacts to that, and so do you, right? You may or may not act positively. Doesn't mean the information is wrong. It just means that maybe you're not ready for it, right? Because sometimes, people can tell us something that's right and good for us, but we've heard so many negative things around it that we don't react the way we can act. Now, I'm not going to say should, because, you should act however you want. But if you can act the way that maybe that helps you and versus harms you. Now, I'm not talking about being a snob and thinking that the only people that can give you information are rich people, because rich people are not always right. Just because they're rich doesn't mean they're right, and also doesn't mean that they're wrong, because, we grew up with these paradigms about rich people and they're mean, they're hateful, and all even the movies that we watched. Hey, Ruby, how you doing? And, purported that whole idea that rich people were always mean and hateful and all this kind of stuff. And this is why a lot of people, including myself, had money paradigms where we didn't want to be rich because we didn't want to be that person. But, going through, I'm fantastic. Going through personal development, I found out that, you are the same person, whether you're rich or poor, right? Because if you're a poor person and you're evil, you're going to be evil when you get rich. You just have more capacity to do more bigger evil things. If you're a good person and you get rich, guess what? You have more capacity to do more good things. So just because somebody is wealthy doesn't mean that they're feeding you the right things. That would be an incorrect assumption. Now, are Are there people you are taking advice in life, um, living the life that you want to live? Look at their lives and see, is this the person I want to follow? Is this the person? Good morning, Pelinaise. How are you, sweetheart? And just, or is this the person that I really want to follow? Is this the person whose life looks like the one that I want to live? If the answer to that is no, then don't follow them. Find somebody or mentor or coach or somebody that you are willing to follow that is living the life that you want to live. That's, that's the food that you want to feed yourself, is the person who's giving the advice to help you live the life that you want to live. If you're looking at this person and you're going, God, they're such an awful person, I don't, but they're rich, so I'm just going to keep following them anyway. No, there are people who are poor as dirt who have better information and better advice than somebody who doesn't, because of the life that they live. This is what you're looking at. You're looking at the integrity of the person and what kind of life do they live. Are they positive people? Because if you're feeding yourself negativity every single day, guess what you're going to be? Negative. And how does that make you feel? I know for me, if I'm around a negative person constantly, it makes me feel yucky. It makes me feel like I got dirt on me. I mean, just like the energy around me is just, it makes you feel, after a while, it just makes you feel drained. And so comparing that to food, say you ate something that you knew was really bad for you, and you knew that when you ate it, your body didn't really feel that well, but you ate it anyway because it tastes good. Well, everything that tastes good is not good for you. And just like everything that sounds good is not good for you. So you have to like taper what you listen to and look at the person's life. Are they happy, upbeat people? Do they speak positively? Do they exude the attitude of gratitude every day? Are these people you want preparing your mental meal? Because your mentality is so important to everything that you do in life. If you listen to a lot of the motivational speakers and everything, when your mental is on point, you can do so much more than if you're in a bad mood, right? It's just like when we were doing this trading, right? The educators were always at the beginning talking to us about personal development and really getting our mind right before we started trading, because it could affect how we traded. So if you think about it, your mental capacity can affect everything. And so you have to be careful about the mental food that you get in your mind, because your mental food can have a negative effect on your body, just like your real food can. That food that you put in your mouth. Like I went vegan, right? So, and I just recently came back from Mexico. There were no vegan restaurants in Mexico. And I was very, very tempted to just say, to heck with it, let me just eat whatever, right? But I stuck to my guns because I know how the difference in how me eating vegan and then me eating all the meats and stuff made me feel. I know the difference because I've been there. And so it's the same thing with your mental food. If you're getting positivity and positivity and positivity, then all of a sudden you're around a whole bunch of negative people, notice how it makes you feel. Does it make you feel good about being around people that are gossiping all the time? I'm thinking no. And maybe at the time that you're doing it, oh, you're yucking it up. You're laughing and talking and doing all these things. And then afterward, how good does that make you feel? It's kind of like eating the food, and then it's good while you're eating it, but afterwards, not so much. So you have to think about What are you putting into your body? What are you putting into your head? What are you putting into your mind? And if you, now for me, if I'm around a negative person all day long, by the end of the day, I feel like somebody has completely drained the energy out of me. Isn't that how you feel? I mean, just and be honest with yourself. If you're around a negative person all day long, doesn't that make you feel like completely drained of energy, drained of life? And so if nobody is feeding you, is speaking life into you, limit your time around these people. I don't care if they're family or not. Limit your time around people who are not speaking life, who are not feeding you the type of stuff that you need to live. You know, we need to live. I mean, to get out there and be, and the world has enough negativity around it. You don't need to invite that into your life deliberately, you know, because sometimes you can't help the crowds that you're around, because people around, you know, they're around and maybe you're in that crowd at the moment, but you do have the choice to step away. And so feeding yourself negativity is like feeding yourself some nasty food. It's going to hurt you in the end. So when that's why we should have a really steady diet of upbeat, positive, intelligent people around us, because it helps us mentally. And when our mental game is right, our physical game is right. Have you noticed that when you're happier, you feel like doing more? Right? Because I do. I mean, when I'm happier, when I'm more upbeat, I'm okay with going out and doing my exercises and you know, having fun with people and moving around and being all that when I'm happier. If I don't feel good, if I'm around people that are just like spouting negativity all day long, it makes you feel bad. You don't want to do anything. You're just like, man, I just want to sit on the sofa. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be bothered with anybody or anything. So think about that. So when you're choosing a life, a profession, a mentor, or a coach, or whoever, the people that you want to be around, choose wisely. Because when you're at a buffet, don't you skip over those things. Oh, well, I don't like that. Oh, well, I love that. That's nice. And so it's the same thing in life with the people that you hang around. Choose wisely. It's like a buffet. There's so many people out there that can feed you what you need versus, you know, all that other negativity that's around there. So this weekend, or the last couple of days, I got fed with so much, you know, from the fantastic leaders in my company. And, you know, I just want to give them a shout out, even though they're probably not watching. But I want to give them a shout out anyway, because I just loved the information they gave us and the positivity they gave us and the good feeling, so that we could go out and do our business and feel good about how we're helping people. You know, Mr. Sam Bean, Miss Kim Bean, Mr. Holton Buggs, Mr. Edwin Haynes, Mr. Cesar Munoz, Mr. Johnny Wembry, Gerald Brooks, Miss Jackie Pippins, Miss Tina Bullatow. I mean, so many people. I mean, I can't even name them all. There were so many people that gave us the food that we needed to help us improve our lives. You know, and that to me is worth gold. You know, if I never get anything else, I know that I have those people to get my mental food from when I need it. And I, you know, and as they were saying, you know, don't just be a taker, be a giver. So when I hear this information that they give me, I try to pass it on, because that's the thing, right? You want to pay it forward so you can feed somebody else's soul, because that's what happens. It feeds your mental and spiritual. Because when you're mentally happy, your spirit is happy. And so when your spirit is happy, your body gets happy. And so many things are affected by how you feel and how you think. And so if you're ingesting bad stuff, you're going to feel bad. But when you start ingesting good stuff and listening to good things, you're going to feel good. That's just the way life is. So just get the right food, both both the food and the mental food. Put those right things in your body and you'll notice the difference in how you feel. Like for me, the food that I put in my body now, I don't feel heavy. Although I am heavy. I'm still heavy, but I'm working on that, right? So that's the thing, is to start making myself feel better on the inside so that I can continue on this journey of making my body look the way I want it to look. I don't care what society wants it to look like. I do my body the way I want it to look. And I can't be concerned about how somebody else wants my body to look. You understand? So if I feel good about me, I fed myself the right food, both the food that I put in my mouth and the food that I put in my head, my body's going to respond accordingly. So think about that. Feed yourself the right food on both fronts. The food you put in your mouth and the food you put in your head, and watch the people that you're hanging out with and make sure they're the chefs that you want in your kitchen. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to go. And I thank you so much, Ruby and Pelanese, for joining me. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. And I'm sorry I was late, but I didn't keep you long, did I? All right. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. But in the meantime, I wish you peace. I wish you love. And I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.